morning for the first day of classes indeed. I can already tell that this year's Introduction to Protection Magic class is going to be very interesting. Oh, hello. Are you looking for the Introduction to Protection Magic? Oh, wonderful. I'm Professor Baset. I will be your professor for this class. I'm sure the first day is very nerve-wracking, but don't worry. I like to make sure all of my students are well adjusted before starting class each day. What is your name, dear? Ah, I see. I think I've had a sibling of yours previously, in my class, of course. Well, it's very nice to meet you. Feel free to take a seat in the classroom wherever you like. I'm not that type of professor that assigns seat on the first day of class, so get comfy. It's going to be a long 2 hours.
Oh, I guess I'm not the only one here that decides to get to class super early. Well, that and I didn't want to get lost. You can sit next to me if you want. Hi, my name is Irune. Nice to meet you. That's an interesting name you have. I've never heard of it before. That's probably because I grew up outside of the Empire. Yeah, outside of the Empire is where a lot of exiled mages live and many young orphaned children mages live there too. I was adopted, along with 2 friends of mine. You may have met them before, but then again they were too scared to leave the dorms until classes started. Their names are Avier and Clero. Yeah, I figured they can be quite shy, unlike me though. Ah, there they are. I never doubted that they would be late. That probably means classes will be starting soon. I was correct.
Okay, class. Welcome to Introduction to Protection Magic. My name is Professor Baset, and this is one of my apprentices, Minos. He is going to be my student assistant for this year. Not only will he be helping me, but he will also be helping all of you. Now, I know that you are all excited to start practicing magic, but before you all start to even think about casting spells, we need to make sure that all of you are familiar with and are in fact grounded. Now, what is grounding? Grounding is the absolute #1 priority when practicing magic. If you cannot ground yourself or connect with the vibrations of the earth, you cannot raise the energies necessary to cast your spells. Grounding is accomplished by sitting on the ground, slowing down your breathing, and listening to your surroundings. And that is exactly what we will be doing for the next couple of classes. Now, I'm going to take our class outside into the commons to practice some grounding techniques. But first, I want to make sure that all of you get a copy of the tomes we will be using for this class. Minos, can you grab them for the students? I believe we only need 15. Thank you, Minos. Now, with my tomes, I don't just give them randomly to my students. I let the tomes pick the students themselves. So one by one, I will call you up to my desk, and the tome that picks you will float to you, and that tome will be your tome for the rest of the semester. So don't damage them, or the tomes will be very upset. Another interesting thing about my tomes is that they can speak to you. Yes, I know that sounds weird, But my tomes have magical properties where the past students of the tomes can help you study. Now, the students in these tomes are not the actual souls of students, but mere memories of them. Isn't that brilliant? It took me a long time to come up with a spell to do so, but I really wanted to make sure that all of my students, especially in this class, can learn lessons not only from me and Minos, but my past students as well. Without further ado, let me get my attendance and start calling you up. Okay, let's see. Irune? Is Irune here? I guess I'm up first. Hello, Irune. You are the first one. Are you excited?
Yeah, as long as I don't get hit in the face.
I can assure you that won't happen. Now put your hands out, my dear.
Whoa, that was so cool. Thank you.
All right, let's see. We have Avar, Clero, Icarus, Natalia, Reginald, Oxenia, Seren, Oscar, and last but not certainly least, you, my dear. Come on up here. All righty, now hold out your hands, dear. Ah, I see. I remember now. That was your sister's tome. I'm not surprised it chose you. Your sister was a very impressive student when I had her in her very first year. I hope to expect the same from you too, perhaps. I do realize that not all siblings are the same, so perhaps you may exceed her? That would be very interesting indeed. All righty. Now that we have finished attendance, please open your tomes to Chapter 1, and please pull out your Book of Shadows to take notes. After we take some notes, I will take you all outside to the commons for our first grounding session.
I hope you have a strong writing hand. I heard we'll be writing our hands to death our first year.
Now, as I said before, grounding is the act of connecting with the vibrations of the earth in order to raise vibrations in ourselves to order to cast spells. Now, for those of you who are paying attention, how does one ground themselves? Yes, you, my dear? Yes, I'll accept that answer. Meditating is basically a form of grounding. There are other ways to ground oneself, though, such as doing things we enjoy doing. How many of you embroider, sew, or knit? Ah, quite a few of you. Do we have any painters or writers or book readers? Wonderful. So all of these things can act as a form of grounding for all of you, as long as they put you in a relaxed state. If doing any of these things stresses you out, you will not be able to ground yourself. I happen to know some students that sing or dance to ground themselves. I even know a mage that rides horses in order to ground themselves. But for now, it's okay not to know what helps you ground yourself. But for now, it is okay not to know what helps you ground yourself. That is what we'll be working on for the first month of this class. But by next month, hopefully, all of you will know how to ground yourself with something you enjoy doing. All right now, class, we have taken all the necessary notes for today, so I and Minos will take you all outside to the commons and we'll start practicing some potential grounding techniques. So if you all could grab your stuff and follow me, then we will head over there, all right? Have we got everything, everyone? Excellent. Now, let's get moving.